this level, and how all you got to do is ask you. You'll tell you how good it is. Where does that confidence come from for you? How are you able to maintain that in a sport like baseball where you know you're going to fail quite a bit?
Well, before I got here, when I was growing up, a lot of people said, "Hey, you're too short. You can't play shortstop. You're not good enough. You don't have a strong enough arm. You're not fast enough." So that always made me want to get better than everyone thought I could be. So when I got here, I think a lot of people said, "Hey, are you going to redshirt, or this is this?" And I wanted to show them, "Hey, I can play as a freshman." I did that. The next year, "Hey, are you going to improve? Are you going to have a better year than you did your freshman year?" I don't know. He's kind of slow hands, weak bat, and I wanted to increase that. And then going into this year, I really wanted to increase it again. So I just try to take a lot of pride in what I do and try to better myself every single year.
How do you guard against going from confident to arrogant?
Yeah.
Where's that line? And is it possible to have an arrogance that's necessary? I guess kind of.
Yeah, I think there's an arrogance that's necessary, but I also think that what I believe in my faith doesn't allow me to boast about myself because I'm so confident in what the Lord has provided for me. So that's pretty much where I have my stopping point is if I'm trying to get too arrogant, then it's becoming about myself when it's not really about myself.
Coach was talking about how you attack the ball out there. Is that necessary to be a good shortstop? It's not a position for a passive player.
No, you cannot let the ball come get you because as soon as you start waiting for the ball, which I've done, I mean, every player has done, it'll just eat you up immediately. I mean, there's fields that have hard dirt, whatever, different clumps everywhere, and if you don't come get the ball, it's going to hit that one spot you thought it wouldn't and get you right in the chest.
Do you judge it? You look at the fields, the infields for you?
Oh yeah, we especially the day before because we get to practice on the fields. We say, "Oh, this infield, this. We got to make sure we're coming to get the ball." That's what we always talk about in the infield with Stovey and me and Bragg and L.A. and Cody Brown, whoever's there. We're always saying, "We need to come get the ball," especially on a back end. We need to make sure our feet are moving towards first base because second you start waiting back, it's going to get you.
What's the best field you've played on as a shortstop?
Dodger Stadium.
Surprise.
Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium.
Okay, let's bring it down to a college level.
You know what? I would say that Mississippi State has a really good field just because our guys do a really good job. I'm trying to think of Arkansas. I really liked Arkansas. But there's some other fields too that you're like, man, this is tough. So
Want to call any names?
No, I'm not going to name any names. But I would say Arkansas and us have probably the best two.
Talk about your approach now at the plate, because
Yeah.
by this time of season, everybody's getting a read on everybody. Coaches
Yeah.
have scouting reports, pitchers know what to do. So how are you staying productive out there?
Yeah, I think this is the hardest part of the season when you get to this point because everyone, like you said, has, oh, he's susceptible to breaking ball, 2 strikes. So I'm always trying to make an adjustment. I don't ever want to be labeled as, oh, well, this guy can only do this because then they got you. You know, the second they start having the shift on you and then you take it the other way and they got to go back, it's great. So I try to always make sure, hey, I can go to right field, I can go to left field, I can hit the breaking ball. I'm aggressive with an 0-0, maybe I take an 0-0. You know, it's just, I always try to vary what I'm doing so they're not always like, this guy's one-dimensional. This guy can do many things is what I want them to say.
So much of being a productive shortstop is having a good relationship with second baseman. You've had to adjust during the year to different second basemen, but y'all are making it work.
Yeah, that's because we have such good players and just such grinding athletes. Like you got Cody Brown, he does not give in to anything. You know, he's so strong-minded, such a great player, so smart on the field. You have Stovey, who's such a great athlete, unbelievable hands. I mean, both those guys have been there. L.A. too has done a great job when he's had to fill in, but for the most part, it's been Cody and Stovey, and those guys are Stovey. Just I think he's going to be a professional second baseman. As for Cody, I think he's going to be maybe a professional utility guy or a top college player. So when you have both those guys that can play that, it gives you a lot of confidence in the infield.
What do y'all see from Georgia?
You know what? I know a couple of those guys over there. I played against them in high school, and they're going to get after it. And they're going to be a good team. And you can't take anyone lightly in this league, no matter what the record is. They're really hot right now. They came off a series win against Kentucky and beat Georgia Tech, who has a lot of really good players. Saw a lot of them in the Cape, so I think it's going to be a struggle this weekend, but if we can find a way to get a couple wins, I think that'd be really big.